Welcome to Extemp Weekly, Episode 3. First, the variant continues to spread, but experts say it's not a cause for alarm. The variant of Covid19 is continuing to spread, but experts say there's no need to worry. The variant, which is a subvariant of the Omicron virus, has been detected in more than 50 countries, including the United States. It is now the dominant strain in the US, accounting for more than 17% of cases. The virus is thought to be more transmissible than previous variants, but it does not appear to be more severe. Studies have shown that vaccines are still effective against the virus, and there have been no reports of an increase in hospitalizations or deaths. However, experts are still monitoring the situation closely, and they say it's possible that the variant could become more severe over time, and they could evade the protection of the vaccines. In the meantime, they're still urging people to get vaccinated, boosted, and to wear masks whenever necessary. And in further news, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is shaking up his presidential campaign by laying off staffers and changing his messaging in an effort to regain momentum. DeSantis, who is seen as a potential frontrunner for the Republican nomination, has been trailing former President Donald Trump in most polls. He has also faced criticism for his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and his policies on abortion and LGBTQ rights. In recent weeks, DeSantis has replaced his campaign manager and laid off about 1/3 of his staff. He has also shifted his focus away from Florida and towards national issues. In a recent interview, DeSantis said that he is not worried about the polls and that he is focused on winning. He added that he is confident that he will be the nominee. It remains to be seen whether DeSantis' changes will be enough to help him close the gap with Trump. However, the shakeup is a sign that he is taking his campaign seriously and that he is willing to make changes in order to win. Here are some specific changes that DeSantis has made to his campaign. 1, he replaced his campaign manager, Janera Peck, with James Utmer, his longtime chief of staff. 2, he laid off about 1/3 of his staff, including several senior staffers. And 3, he has shifted his focus away from Florida and towards national issues, giving him a more broad appeal. He has started to attack Trump more directly. It's too early to say whether these changes will be enough to help DeSantis win the Republican nomination. However, they are a sign that he is willing to do what it takes in order to succeed. In further news, Maui officials are investigating the delay of diverting water to fight wildfires. Officials in Maui, are investigating a delay in diverting the water to use to fight wildfires that ravaged the island earlier this month. The wildfires, which were sparked by lightning, destroyed hundreds of homes and businesses and killed at least 111 people. According to a letter obtained by CNN, a water management company requested permission from the Hawaii Commission on Water Resource Management to divert stream water to nearby reservoirs. However, the agency delayed approving the request, citing concerns about the impact on downstream users. The delay is now being investigated by the Maui County Fire Department and Hawaii Department of the Attorney General. In a statement, the Hawaii Commission on Water Resources Management said that it is committed to ensuring that all water resources are used in a sustainable manner. The agency that is working with all the stakeholders to address the concerns raised by the delay in diverting water to fight the wildfires. The delay in diverting water is just one of the factors that contributed to the severity of the wildfires on Maui. Other factors include the dry conditions caused by climate change and the overgrown vegetation, and the lack of defensible space around homes and businesses. The wildfires have raised concerns about the vulnerability of Maui to climate change and the need for better fire prevention measures. In the wake of the wildfires, Maui County has announced a number of new fire prevention measures, including clearing vegetation around homes and businesses, creating defensible space, and educating residents about fire safety. The county is also working to improve its water infrastructure to ensure that it's better able to fight future wildfires. Moving into the international sphere, China's slowing economy the government take steps to revive growth. China's economy is slowing down, and the government is taking steps to revive that growth. The economy grew at its slowest pace in a year in the second quarter of 2023, and there are concerns that it could slow even further in the third quarter. The government has taken a number of steps to try to boost growth, including cutting interest rates and lowering reserve requirements for banks, increasing infrastructure spending, and lowering taxes for businesses and providing subsidies to manufacturers. The government is also hoping that the recent easing of COVID-19 restrictions will help boost economic activity. However, it is too early to say whether these measures will be enough to revive the economy. The global economic slowdown and the ongoing trade war with the United States are also factors that could weigh in on growth. The Chinese government is facing a difficult task in trying to revive the economy. It is a delicate balancing act as the government needs to stimulate growth without causing inflation or financial crisis. The government is also facing political pressure to maintain economic growth, as it is seen to be a key in maintaining social stability. The next few months will be critical for the Chinese economy. The government's stimulus measures will need to be effective in boosting growth, and the global economy will need to improve. If these conditions are met, the Chinese economy would start to recover in the second half of the year. Moving back to the Ukraine-Russian war, the U.S. is sending F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. The United States has approved the transfer of F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine as the country continues to fight against Russia's invasion. The decision was announced by President Joe Biden on Thursday, and it marks a significant escalation of U.S. military support for Ukraine. The F-16s are to be transferred from Denmark and the Netherlands, and they will be used by the Ukrainian pilots who have already been trained on the aircraft. The jets are expected to arrive in Ukraine in the coming months, and they will give the country a much-needed boost in its air power. The decision to send F-16s to Ukraine is a risky one, as it could increase the risk of a direct confrontation between the United States and Russia. However, Biden has said that the U.S. is committed to helping Ukraine defend itself, and he believes that the F-16s will be a valuable asset in the fight against Russia. The transfer of F-16s to Ukraine is also a sign of the growing international support for the country. The U.S. has been joined by other NATO allies in providing military aid to Ukraine. And the move is seen as a way to deter Russia from further aggression. The decision to send F-16s to Ukraine is a significant development in the conflict, and it remains to be seen how Russia will respond. However, the move is a clear indication of the United States' commitment to helping Ukraine defend itself against Russian aggression. Some more details about the F-16 fighter jets are that they're made by Lockheed Martin and are considered to be one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. They are capable of carrying out a variety of weapons, including air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground missiles, and bombs. They have a top speed of over 1,500 miles per hour and a range of over 1,000 miles. They are operated by pilots from over 25 different countries, and the F-16s are expected to be a valuable asset to the Ukrainian Air Force, and they could help to turn the tide in the conflict. It is important to note that the jets are not a silver bullet, and they will not be able to defeat Russia on their own. And last but not least, the US, South Korea, and Japan hold security talks at Camp David. The leaders of the United States, South Korea, and Japan held security talks at Camp David on Friday in a bid to strengthen their trilateral alliance and address common challenges, including North Korea, China, and China. President Joe Biden hosted South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida at the presidential retreat in Maryland. The three leaders discussed ways to deepen their security cooperation and coordinate their responses to regional threats. They also condemned China's dangerous and aggressive behavior in the South China Sea and pledged to work together to uphold the rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific region. The meeting comes at a time of heightened tensions in the region, with North Korea continuing to test ballistic missiles and China asserting its claims in the South China Sea. These three leaders agreed to hold annual trilateral summits and to increase their military exercises. They also agreed to work together to develop new technologies such as artificial intelligence and quantum computing. The meeting was seen as a success by all three sides and is seen as a sign of the strength of the U.S.-South Korea-Japan alliance. Some additional details about the meeting include that the meeting was the first time that the three leaders had met in person. The leaders discussed a range of security issues, including North Korea's, China, and the Indo-Pacific region. Also, they agreed to deepen their security cooperation and coordinate their responses to regional threats. They also condemned China's dangerous, aggressive behavior in the South China Sea. That made the meeting a success by all three sides, and it is seen as a sign of the strength of the U.S.-South Korea-Japan alliance. The leaders are committed to working together to address common challenges and to promote peace and stability in the region. And that's all for Extemp Weekly, Episode 3. Make sure that you follow us on YouTube and like our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok pages. Until then, I'll see you next week.